This is working. Okay, we're live on Twitch. The website is working. Let me just check YouTube is going as well. And then we'll be good to go. Not sure about YouTube, guys. YouTube always gives me a little bit of trouble. Let me just double check my channel, see if we're up and running. Cool, we're good to go. Alright, what is up, boys? Good to see you all. And in this live stream, we're going to be researching the fight between Ciryl Gane and Alexander Volkov. So this weekend's main event. I was kind of talking about this in yesterday's stream. So yesterday we researched the fight between Nicholas Dalby and Tim Means. And I was kind of saying after that fight that the way that things usually work is, you know, we'll have an MMA event or a UFC event, and I'll kind of scan through the event and I'll pick out like 5, 6, 7 maybe potential bets. And then when we start researching the fights, like I'll whittle that down and maybe we'll end up like out of the 5, 6 or 7 names that jump out at me as potential bets, you know, I'll end up with maybe, you know, 2, 3 or 4 bets, right? But last week's card was really, really tough. It was one of the first cards in ages where I went through all of the matchups and there just weren't any names jumping out at me. And this week is exactly the same. The only name that did jump out at me as a potential bet on this card was Tim Means, but we researched that matchup yesterday and I wouldn't touch Tim Means now based on what we've seen. And so I'm in a really tricky position again this week where I'm just looking at these fights and there just aren't any names jumping out at me at all, like zero. I think a big reason why that's the case on this card is because there are a lot of heavy favourites. You know, if we look at the matchups this week, we can see, I think this Wally Alves fight has actually been cancelled. I'm pretty sure that it's been cancelled. Or, oh no, actually it's been added. Wait a minute, does that mean we've got more fights now? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so they've added a fight overnight. So Wally Alves versus Jeremiah Wells is a new fight that we've got. But if we look at it, obviously Alves is a big favourite. Avila's a big favourite, Pragnio's a big favourite, Rachmanov's a big favourite, Barcelos a big favourite, Moicano's a big favourite, Andre Philly's a big favourite, and to be fair, fighters like Ciryl Gane, Charles Rosa are big favourites as well. But it's one of those cards where you look at the matchups and I feel like the fighters that are big favourites are not really the kind of fighters that you want to trust at big favourite odds. So like, you know, Marcin Pragnio, the better guy as bad as Pragnio in that 1.47 minus 200 odds range. It's always risky. So it's been a really good month for us so far on pre-fight bets, and I don't want to fuck it up. And this is just a really, really tough card for betting. Last week's was tough. This week's is tough. So we'll go through the Alexander Volkov versus Ciryl Gane fight in this stream. Again, I just don't think I'm going to be betting this matchup. For me, Gane has looked amazing, right? Volkov has got some huge weaknesses that Gane could exploit. We know Volkov is very easy to take down. We know that Volkov is very easy to hold down. But, you know, Gane... Gane hasn't really been tested that much so far in his UFC fights, you know. Certainly hasn't faced anyone like Volkov, a tough Russian that's going to walk him down, get in his face, try and make this a war. You know, we haven't seen Gane in anything that resembles a war. You know, obviously Dos Santos and Rozenstruik are decent heavyweights, but Rozenstruik was very gun-shy in that matchup, and Dos Santos' better days are behind him. So it's just tricky, man. Nice one, Pep. Glad we can make some money there, dude. What's up, Mark? What's up, BJ? So yeah, this is a really, really tough week for betting. Last week was tough, and like I say, we've made good profits this month, so I don't want to be giving those profits back. I much prefer to just be smart this week. This is a shitty week for betting. Last week was shitty. That's the way it goes. I do have a little bit of a theory. I went out for lunch with my wife today, and we were having lunch, and she's kind of asking how things were going. and I said, you know, June's gone all right, but it's been slow. Like last week's been slow, this week's been slow, just because we're not getting the right kind of fights to bet. It's like poker, right? At the end of the day, if you're not getting the hands to play, you can't really play any hands. You gotta sit on your hands and do absolutely nothing. You know, if you're just getting dealt trash over and over and over again, you just have to kind of stay patient and wait for something decent to come to you that you can play. I feel it's very much like this with the fights. And then I didn't actually think of it like this. Didn't really think about it like this until I was talking to my wife about it. But if we think about it logically, there's only so much talent in the UFC. And, before these last two cards, we had a really good run of events where there were some decent UFC events, and because of that we were able to bank some pretty good profits. And then obviously after this event we've got a 2-week break, and then it goes into that massive UFC 264 Poirier Conor card, and then we've got tons of good events in July. And I just think it's got to the stage on this week's card and last week's card where, in terms of matchmaking, I just think that the UFC are kind of scraping the barrel. You know what I mean? They've put on a load of good matchups in the last few weeks. They've absolutely stacked July, International Fight Week. They've got some huge events in July. And I think these two events are where they've kind of struggled a little bit to put together good quality matchups. So they've just thrown like dudes in together. Like OSP Tanabosa, such a random fight. Kennedy and Chukwu, Danilo Marquez, very random fight. Where did they come up with Pineda versus Philly? Jay Herbert Moicano is a really weird fight. Just lots of strange fights on these last two cards. So, hopefully we could pick something up. But we'll see how it goes. Appleman is saying, is there any over-unders you like? Well, you know what, man? The over-unders are our best performing pre-fight bet. So if we go to the lab, we can see that the profitability chart on over-unders is absolutely mental. Like, we make amazing profits on these over-unders. Have done over the last year anyway. But there hasn't been... The last event, there weren't really any over-unders I liked. And, well, we've only researched one fight on this card so far. Hopefully we could find some unders on this card. I guess the thing with over-unders is... it's kind of difficult to say, right? When I look at a card and I'm kind of picking out potential fighters to bet, I'll get like those 5, 6, 7 names that jump out at me as potential bets. But I don't really get that with over-unders. I think with over-unders, like, I tend to use the odds as way more of a guide. So, like, I'll research the fight and I'll think, is this likely to go the distance or not? And then I'll just look at the over-under. And then depending on the odds, sometimes you can find an amazing deal. But I guess that's why at the moment I'm not kind of like, this one could be great for over-unders. Just because I kind of need to research the fights first before I get like a feeling about over-unders. Like, it's very rare where I'll kind of like look at fights and go, that'll be really good. Like, the over on that'll be really good. Like, I don't ever really feel like that. I always have to research the fight first. Whereas obviously with matchups, you could feel a lot different. You could be like, this is a great fight this week for Nchukwu. Obviously, I'm not saying that, but just as an example. Let's catch up on some comments while we got. What's up, Frozen, mate? What's up, Hilts? What's up, Beep Beep in my Jeep? What's up, Robinson? Robinson's already bet Gane. What's up, Parlons? Beep Beep in my Jeep is saying Cyryl's coach is live right now talking about the fight. Alright, cool, boys. What have we got on the YouTubes? You know what, KRN Runner? So KRN Runner is saying, hey, what's up, Ryan? Good to see you, Ryan, dude. So KRN Runner is saying, is Volkov supremely underrated with those given odds? Do you know what, dude? I think it depends on the strategy that Gane uses. So we'll obviously look at this in the research now so you can see it for yourself when we watch the footage together. But what I would say is, if this fight stays standing, I could see Volkov causing Gane a lot of trouble. But obviously we know Volkov's biggest weakness is that his takedown defense is very, very bad, and he's super weak off his back. And we have seen situations in the past where Gane's used wrestling to, you know, kind of take his opponents down and neutralize them quite easily. So I think if this fight does stay standing, it could be great value on Volkov. But obviously it's difficult because we don't know what strategy Gane is going to use. You know, whenever you bet on Volkov, it's always super risky because of how weak he is off his back. So that's where the danger comes in here. We don't really know what strategy Gane's going to use. So it's tough to say if Volkov's underrated, because we could easily see a situation where Gane takes him down and lays and prays him for 5 rounds. Or we could see like a close 25-minute kickboxing match. It's kind of tough, man. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. Let's get into some footage. So, all right, let's do it, boys. So let's take a look at the X factors on this one. So Volkov, 32 years old, 6'7" with an 81-inch reach. What's crazy though is he's almost the same age as Gane. I think Gane's 30 years old, but Volkov has had like 4 times as many fights or 5 times as many fights. So Volkov has had over 40 pro fights, so he's got a lot of miles on the clock. Whereas Gane, obviously 8-0. 8-0, but nowhere near as experienced. But he's 31 years old, so yeah, about the same age as Volkov. But what's actually interesting, he's got a huge 83-inch reach, and we saw him use this to great effect against Rozenstruik, where he did a good job of fighting long and staying out of a range where Rozenstruik could really get to him. Not that Rozenstruik tried particularly hard. So Volkov 6'7", 81-inch reach. Gane 6'4", 83-inch reach. So not that much of a size advantage either for Volkov, which will be unusual for him. Gane is a big boy. So recently we went through the pain of watching this 25-minute fight. When we researched the Rozenstruik versus Sakai matchup. Annoying that we have to go through that again. But I think what we should do is maybe look at a little bit of Volkov first, so that we don't all end up falling asleep. And then we'll get into Gane once we've warmed up a little bit. So we take a look at where these two boys are training. I think Volkov is training somewhere in California now. The last time I checked. Yeah, he's got the Hollywood sign in the background. I remember researching him for his last fight against Overeem, and he seemed to be training in a small gym in California, not like a notable gym, not like a gym that I've heard of anyway. Global Fighting, GFG, and I don't recognise any of the people he's training with either. Although there's Maxim Grishin. Grishin was supposed to be on this card, right? And the fight got cancelled. Yeah, he's supposed to be fighting OSP. Alright, and then if we look at Bongamin, I need to find out what that means in French. I've always wondered. It means... Need to know. Good kid. Okay. Ciryl Good Kid Gane. I like it. Ciryl Good Kid Gane. Weird nickname, but we'll take it. So not too much training info there. Don't recognise that guy he's training with. Obviously, we know he trains at Paris at their MMA factory. And it served him pretty well up until this point, because he looks great for 8-0. Alright, let's get into some footage then. So we'll start off with Volkov, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, Ryan, you know what's annoying, man? This UFC card clashes with the Wales game on Saturday. Wales are playing Denmark at 5 PM, and it means I'm going to miss it because UFC on at the same time. So what I'll do, boys, let me just grab a link for you, and we'll get into this Volkov fight. Alright boys, let's take a look. So we'll kick things off with the Overeem fight. So the way this works, if you haven't been in one of these before, basically we just all watch the fight together on Fight Pass or ESPN Plus. We kind of sync things up Joe Rogan Fight Companion style with a countdown clock. And then see if there's anyone worth betting. So if you could sync this round up for me, please. I'll put it in the chat. I've just put it in the chat. Sync up round 1. Alright boys, here we go. So it starts at 3 minutes and 8 seconds on Fight Pass. Three minutes and 8 seconds on Fight Pass. Sync it up, guys. Sync it up. Sync it up, guys. And let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see what we've got. So it will be interesting to see if Overeem tries to take Volkov down here, because what we know about Overeem is that his takedown entries tend to come quite high above his opponent's hips. And I noticed in the Rozenstruik fight that Gane's takedown entries came quite high above Rozenstruik's hips as well. So when we go and watch a little bit more footage on Gane, it will be interesting to see if Gane can mix things up and attempt other kinds of takedowns against some of his other opponents. And it will also be interesting to see how Volkov deals with the takedown threat of Overeem here, because you wouldn't imagine that, you know, the offensive wrestling again is going to be anywhere near the level of a Curtis Blades, who was able to cause, you know, Volkov so much trouble. So what's interesting is back when Volkov fought in Bellator and actually in his early days in the UFC, he used to get wobbled a lot. Remember Tim Johnson knocking him down real bad in one of his first few fights in the UFC. But over the last few years, his chin's really held up and looked a lot more solid. Of course, obviously this event is going to be in the Apex Center, which means obviously smaller octagon, less space for someone like Gane to move around and alleviate the pressure the Volkov's looking to put on him. So we're not seeing that much output from Volkov. I remember this fight differently watching it live. You see Overeem kind of on the outside playing the role of Matador, looking to deter Volkov from coming forward with the threat of the power in that left hand. And we're seeing Volkov definitely respect it. I don't know if Overeem actually got dropped there initially. I think he might have just slipped. And then it was actually the follow-up shot on the ground that hurt Overeem. We're seeing Volkov do a pretty good job of using his length. Obviously, Gane's got the reach advantage here, which will be a pretty unusual phenomenon for Volkov. Can't imagine he's very used to fighting guys that have got a reach advantage over him with how long and tall he is. Take care, Frozen, mate. Spiz is saying that Volkov has added a lot of good weight over the last few years that could have helped his chin a lot. You know, we were talking a little bit about what we're seeing from Volkov with Tim Means yesterday, where in that Mike Perry fight, Tim Means did a pretty good job of trapping Perry in an uncomfortable range, but then wasn't really doing a very good job of landing when he got him there. Kind of seeing a little bit of the same issue with Volkov, right, where he's backing Overeem into this uncomfortable range. Overeem's flat-footed and staying behind that high boxing guard. And, you know, it's not until Overeem is really planted right in front of him that... Where is my mouse gone? That he's having it... My mouse has literally disappeared. Is my battery gone? This would be a disaster. This would be a disaster, boys. I think my battery's gone on my mouse. God damn it. Oh, this is not good. Or is it coming back? Is it coming back? Is it coming back? We've got some issues, boys. There we go, my mouse is back. Very strange. That was strange. That was strange. That was strange. My mouse is back. Okay, so we saw this with Tim Means yesterday, where he was only able to really land on Mike Perry when Mike Perry was properly like trapped in front of him. We're kind of seeing the same thing with Volkov there. Volkov wasn't doing a particularly good job of landing on Overeem in kickboxing range, which is a bit of an issue, because remember how good Gane moved against Rozenstruik, right? Rozenstruik couldn't get anywhere near him. And now I know that Volkov is obviously a lot more aggressive, a lot more active than Rozenstruik. But the only success Volkov had landing there was when he pressured Overeem into a range where Overeem was kind of trapped like a rabbit in the headlights against the cage. And then he would open up. But I don't think Gane is the kind of guy that is going to... allow himself to kind of be worked into those positions because of how good his footwork looked against Rozenstruik. I mean, I could be wrong, but Volkov was not that impressive there. You know, didn't really throw very much, which is an issue because obviously with someone with Volkov's body type and length, you know, you'd want him to be fighting really long. And even with a huge size and reach advantage over Overeem, he didn't really let his hands go there. Alright, so let's get this second round going now, boys. Sync up round 2 for me. Sync up round 2. Appleman is saying, I think Volkov's best weapon is his front kick. Times it well and it has good power in it. It was a front kick that hurt Harris and got the finish. So sync up this second round for me, boys. Let's get it going. So round 2 starts in 9 minutes and 22 seconds. So 9 minutes 22. Sync it up for me. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. My mouse is acting funny and I don't know why. actually lost where we are. My mouse has gone all kinds of crazy on me. Right, I've caught up. I think Overeem's game plan in this fight was to do exactly what he did to Augusto Sakai. We know Volkov's takedown offense is bad and he's weak off his back, so I think Overeem was trying to survive into the 3rd, 4th and 5th round, where he could go to a grappling heavy game plan. He didn't want to use his grappling too early in the fight, exactly like with the Sakai matchup, because he didn't want to gas himself out. But obviously Volkov was able to knock him out before he had a chance to get to his grappling. You can see that right hand is split right through the high boxing guard of Overeem, really hurt Overeem. Now Volkov, smelling blood, goes for the finish. Hey, what's up, Morpheus, dude? Hope you're doing good, mate. Gotta be honest, I'm not as impressed by Volkov here as I remember being live. When I watched this live, I remember thinking, oh my god, Volkov looks really dangerous, but Volkov actually looked a little bit flat there. I think that win said more about Overeem than it did about Volkov. So let's go watch another one now. Let's take a look at Volkov against Harris. Let's see if we feel any differently about Volkov. You know what, I wasn't planning to bet this fight, but now I'm thinking Gane might actually do pretty well here. God, my mouse has gone absolutely fucking mad. My mouse, let's slow this fucking thing down a little bit. My mouse has gone absolutely crazy. Alright. So yeah, let's take a look at this Walt Harris fight. So I'll drop the link in again for you guys. There it is for Fight Pass. I gave the ESPN Plus link now. So sync this first round up for me, guys. Let's get it going. And obviously we did watch this fight quite recently when we were researching Marcin Tybura against Walt Harris. So obviously we bet Marcin Tybura in that. And I do remember that Harris literally gasses bad within about 2 or 3 minutes here. So I'm not sure how much this one's going to tell us about Volkov either. Alright boys, let's get it going. Sync it up, get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So again, seeing the same sort of issue from Volkov that we saw from him against Overeem, where he's not really throwing much, right? I know we're only a minute and a half in, but It's almost like he tries to back people up and force them into an uncomfortable range using his size to kind of crowd them. But I'm not sure that's going to be that effective against Gane, with how well Gane moves. I always thought Volkov was one of these guys that would kind of chip away at his opponents, but that's not what I'm seeing here. Instead, he's kind of blitzing them once he kind of uses his size to kind of force them into a state of panic, which is not what I expected. Yeah, I'm not that impressed by Volkov here. Gotta be honest, man. Starting to feel like this might actually be a good fight for Gane. And by now you can see how tired Harris is, taking some big deep breaths. Again, it's a round where Volkov hasn't really achieved too much. He hasn't landed much. And if anything, it says more about Harris kind of imploding. Now, look, 4 minutes into the fight, he's taking big deep breaths, trying to alleviate the pressure of Volkov by circling away from him. But Harris looking super tired here already. I will say Volkov is a lot harder to hit than he used to be, though. Volkov used to be a little bit like Stefan Struve in that, because he was kind of long and tall, he would have a habit of getting caught cold. But he's a lot harder to hit now. Volkov looks a lot sharper than he used to be. We can see for the most part Overeem and Harris have really struggled to get to him. What's up, RIP, dude? Alright, boys, so sync up this second round for me. So round 2 starts in 8 minutes. Sync it up, boys, 8 minutes. Oh, nice job, Sweat. So Sweat is saying that he's got around 50 Ciryl Gane rookie cards. Nice, man. What's up, baby Jojo? Good to see you, dude. I've got a lot of Ciryl Gane rookies myself. I don't know how many exactly, but I have not been very lucky with their condition, man, unfortunately. Appleman is saying, what do you think of Volkov's footwork? I thought very flat-footed. He kind of shuffles his way in, conserves energy because he's hardly moving, but it's almost robotic. He's generally wanting to take the centre of the cage, edge his way in and push his opponents to the cage, but Gane is going to be so much quicker and smoother. Switching stances so fluidly, he might be able to bamboozle applauding Volkov with his movement. Yeah, I think we kind of been saying the same thing, right? Except you said it better than me. I think that Volkov's only looking dangerous to me when he kind of walks his opponent down to the point where the pressure really starts to get to him, and then they freeze. But I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do that to Gane. Gane seemed like very calm, composed against Rozenstruik. Moved very well. I think, the reason why I like Gane so much is because he moves more like a welterweight than a heavyweight, whereas like Appleman instead, I still feel Volkov is big and clunky and kind of slow. What's up, double leg, mate? Alright, boys. Let's get this next one going. So, sync up round 2. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Be interesting to go back and watch that Gane Rozenstruik fight now. I know it's an absolute snooze fest, but might see it in a different way. Now that we're taking a close look at Gane instead of a close look at Rozenstruik for his matchup against Sakai. Yeah, hopefully we'll have this stream wrapped up by the time that England game starts. The bet I've gone for today. So I had a huge day betting yesterday. If you're in the live streams yesterday, we made a lot of money yesterday. The only bet I've got today is Czech Republic +2. So the +2 handicap. Just purely because Czech Republic have looked really good in the tournament so far, and England just don't seem to have that killer instinct. They seem very defensive minded. So if England do win, I just don't see it being by more than 2 goals. Alright, boys, let's take a look at the Gane versus Rozenstruik fight. Let's get into it, man. So here's the link. Sync it up for me. Appleman also saying that Volkov is so lead leg heavy, he's going to be wide open to Gane's leg kicks. That's a good point, man. Really good point, dude. So sync this one up for me. Sync it up. Sync it up. I'll grab you the ESPN Plus link now. I'm actually looking forward to going back and watching some of Gane's older fights where he's a little bit more aggressive, because I know he doesn't really throw in much volume here against Rozenstruik, but I think with the way Volkov comes forward, Gane's going to be forced to obviously let his hands go more than he did against Rozenstruik. Takes 2 to tango, right? And we know Rozenstruik's volume is very, very low. So Gane kind of matched that energy. No, it's much better odds than 1.24 parlons, dude. Czech Republic, I've bet Czech Republic +2 on 7 different betting sites, and it was on like 1.45 to 1.50 on all of them. No, it's not 1.24. I think you might have the wrong bet, dude. It's Czech Republic +2. Unless the odds have got absolutely steamed, which is possible. But last time I checked, mate, which was about lunchtime, it was... Yeah, it's 1.50, dude. I'll check an odds comparison site for you very quickly, because I think you might be looking at the wrong bet. Let's take a look. So Czech Republic, England, and then if you go to handicaps, are they going to be on here? Okay, so if you go to handicaps, and then you want Czech Republic +2. Yeah, see? It's all in that 1.45 to 1.55 odds range. So I think you're looking at the wrong bet, dude. If it's 1.24, I think that's wrong, mate. No, Czech Republic +2. Czech Republic +2 is 1.5 on Bet365. I think you're looking at the wrong bet, dude. If it's 1.24, I think that's wrong, mate. No, Czech Republic +2 is 1.5 on Bet365. I think you're looking at the wrong bet, mate. 2 is 1.5 on Bet365. I think you're looking at the wrong bet, mate. 2 is 1.5 on Bet365. I think you're looking at the wrong bet, mate. No, Czech Republic +2 is 1.5 on Bet365. I think you're looking at the wrong bet, mate. It's one should be. It is 1.40 to 1.50 everywhere I've looked, and I've actually bet this myself on Bet365 today, so I know it's not 1.24. So I think you're looking at the wrong bet there, dude. Okay, all right, let's get into the next one. Yeah, it's not Asian handicap, dude. It's just straight up spread betting. Czech Republic +2. All right, let's get this next round going. Rozenstruik versus Gane. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go. Let's go. Baby Jojo is asking about Scotland-Croatia game. Man, I think Scotland might. I'm gonna take a look at that game live betting, and I am really tempted by double chance Scotland. I think Croatia have been absolutely awful this tournament. Croatia for me is showing the biggest red flag that you could possibly have in a football team. And Croatia just don't look like they want to be at the tournament. They don't look like they want to care. Or they don't look like they care. There's no energy in Croatia. There's no passion. There's no work rate. They're very flat. They don't seem bothered. They just don't seem bothered. Whereas Scotland, even though they're not as gifted from a technical point of view, they don't have the same quality of player of Croatia. Scotland will be bang up for it. I know they're going to miss Billy Gilmore, but Scotland are going to be bang up for this tonight. They're going to go right at Croatia. They're going to be full of energy and they're going to work their bollocks off. And I don't know, based on Croatia's first 2 games, they don't seem like they're going to match that energy. So, obviously on paper, should be an easy game for Croatia. But it's like MMA, right? Matches aren't played on paper. And Scotland are just way more up for this tournament than Croatia are. And obviously Scotland can still qualify for a win. They've got home advantage. The game's at Hampden Park. So I think Scotland could nick something tonight. I'm not saying Scotland will win, but more than capable of holding them to a draw. More than capable. But the problem when you look at a game like Scotland and Croatia is obviously Croatia do have world-class players that can hurt you, right? We saw that in the Czech Republic game. Like, Croatia were awful. They played terrible. But the game ended 1-1 because of one moment of magic from Perisic. You know what I mean? We kind of saw the same thing in the Denmark versus Belgium game as well, right? Denmark outplayed Belgium, but they ended up losing the game 2-1 just because of 2 magic moments from, world-class players, in that Belgian side. Maybe like Croatia sucker punch Scotland tonight. Grab a couple of goals, but some fucking guy just creeping past my house. Very strange. But yeah, man, I think that this game tonight, Scotland have definitely got it in them to give Croatia absolute hell. There's no way I would be betting Croatia, I could say that much. You could definitely see why Gane's the favourite. Just moves a lot better than Volkov. My only concern is we've never really seen Volkov get hit before. Sorry, Gane get hit before. We've never seen, Gane in any trouble. Never seen, how he's going to react if he gets dragged into a war. So first takedown attempt there, way too high above Rozenstruik's hips. If they did Holloway Korean Zombie, man, I think Max Holloway would box Zombie's face off, dude. I don't think it would be competitive at all. I don't rate Korean Zombie that highly. I think he also would have lost to Dan Ige if Ige fought a little bit smarter, but Ige just came in with a really bad game plan. I'll be talking about that later on in a video that I'll be uploading to YouTube, where I do like a profit and loss video from last week. So, talk about that Ige Zombie fight in a little bit more detail. Alright boys, sync up round 2 for me. Sync up round 2. So round 2 starts at 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Sync it up boys, 8 minutes 59 seconds. 8 minutes 59 seconds. Let's get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. What you also really notice about Gane is a little bit like what Appleman was saying. He's very mobile, right? Loads of stance switches, loads of feints. He's very light on his feet. Now, Volkov wasn't doing a particularly good job of landing against someone, you know, or landing against Overeem and Walt Harris, who were quite flat-footed in front of him. Can't imagine he's going to find it that easy to get to Gane. And you wonder whether, like all the stance switches, the feints and the footwork of Gane, or what kind of put Rozenstruik into a defensive shell, and were perhaps the reason why Rozenstruik didn't land much. See if the starting lineups are out. Not yet. We'll keep checking it. Yeah, Gane looks huge, right? Gane's absolutely massive here. One thing that does bother me a little bit about Gane, like Appleman was talking about how heavy Volkov is on that lead leg. We know Rozenstruik is as well, but Gane's not really doing much damage, right? He's kind of just chipping away at that lead leg and touching it. Almost like the measured distance. It's not like he's actually trying to beat that lead leg of Rozenstruik up. Again, Gane looking for the takedown here. But Rozenstruik easily shutting it down off that overhook. He did the same thing towards the end of the first round. If Gane beats Volkov this weekend, do you think the hype machine like starts to kick into gear for Gane? Because I feel like even though he's undefeated and he's looked great in all his fights, he's never been in any danger. I don't feel like people really care about him yet. I'm wondering if he does beat Volkov, if if people are going to start talking about him. I hope he beats Volkov. I've invested big in his rookie cards. I haven't ended up with as many as I would have liked, but you can see Gane is just not damaging at all, though, right? Even off this jab, he's kind of just touching Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik's not in any danger in there with him. Alright, boys. Sync up round 3. So round 3 starts at 15 minutes and 9 seconds. That's 15 minutes and 9 seconds. Bopham coach is saying the problem with Gane is he is more quiet, doesn't speak great English and doesn't have a brutal finish yet. Appleman saying Gane versus Ngannou has a built-in storyline with them being training partners in the past, and Gane still trains with Francis's old coach. It's a good point, mate. Maybe that storyline that Appleman is talking about could fast track Gane into a title shot. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll want to cash in while the opportunity is still there, Spiz is saying he thinks the winner of this fight is next in line for a title shot. Should we have a look, man? How the rankings are looking. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Definitely. Yeah, I agree, man. Francis has obviously beaten Curtis. He's beaten Curtis Blades twice, and he's beaten Stipe recently. So yeah, once he gets past, yeah, I suppose you're right, man. Derek Lewis is obviously next in line, and then after that, it's going to be Volkov and Gane. Good point, Spears. I didn't realize Gane was that highly rated, because if you think about it, it's kind of weird that Gane is rated that high, because when you look at his record, he hasn't beaten any ranked fighters really. I suppose he has JDS and Rozenstruik, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, he's only beaten one guy in the top 15, and that was Rozenstruik. So Gane has been fast tracked to the top of the division, like big time. Like really, really big time. This guy has been fast tracked. Like, how many of these guys has Tybura fought? Or how many fights did Tybura have to have before he was ranked 8th? Tybura's fought Derek Lewis. He's fought Abdurakhimov. He's fought Augusto Sakai. Tybura's fought 3 of these top 15 guys. Whereas Gane's only fought 1. That's some fast tracking, I had no idea Gane was ranked number 3. Crazy. How many, I've done fucking pitiful in acquiring Gane cards. Let me see how many of his cards I've got. I've got more on the way, but... So PSA 10 quality, or PSA 10 potential. I've got 1 silver, 1 purple. It's a joke. Spent $1,000, boys, on Gane rookie cards, and I only ended up with 1 base card that has a PSA 10 potential. It's a joke. It's a joke how bad these Gane cards are produced. So 1 silver, 1 purple, 1 base card, and then strong PSA 9. 9 fucking base cards, PSA 9. It's a joke. 9, 1 silver prism, and then not gradable, I've got 3. A mojo, a teal, and a red. If anyone wants to buy a mojo, a teal, or a red prism for Gane, get at me, boys. They all have a print bubble on the front in exactly the same location, which is super, super, super suspicious because they all came out of different boxes at different times from different sellers. How they've all got the same fault on the front, I'll never know. It's not super noticeable. It's only when the light catches the card at a certain angle that you can see it. But yeah, it didn't end up with anywhere near as many Ganes as I wanted. This is absolutely pathetic to only end up with 3 cards after spending $1,000. That's the way it goes. How much for the mojo? Parlons, if you really want it. If you really want it, dude. Let me take a look, man. If you really want the Gane mojo, I will do you a very good deal, dude. Because obviously it's got a print bubble on it. How much are they going for? I'll sell it for like half whatever the going rate is raw. See, this is what pisses me off. Look how much these 9.5s are going for. And wow, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 25 mojos are on sale. I have one of them. So it looks like they're going for about... Oh, wow, people are buying my cards. Boom. It looks like they're selling for 600, 500, 600. Yo, I wonder how many of these raw rookie cards have got the print bubble error, though. Shall I see if I can spot it? Because it doesn't show up that well in pictures. It would be quite easy to disguise, you know. But I know exactly where to look for it. I would imagine that a good number of these mojos have got the print bubble error. So it's in this area. And it's very, seems to be very common on these Gane prisms. Doesn't look like it's on that one. It's difficult to say though, man. Maybe I just got really unlucky. Hard to say though. Oh yeah, there it is. This card has it. There it is. See it there? This one has it. I bet they all do. I bet most of these cards do. I bet they've just managed to hide it. So this one does. You can see it there in almost exactly the same location as mine. What about this one? I bet you they all do. How much did this one sell for? Yeah, someone paid. I wonder if they put in there that it's got a... no, he's kind of just hinted you should probably take a good look at it. $300, dude, if you want it, mate. But it does have a print bubble on it. Aside from that, it's flawless. Oh, nice one, JB, dude. Yeah, so if you look at it, man, where's the forum thread gone? So basically, I spent $1,000 on Gane cards, and the only PSA 10 potential ones I got were 1 silver, 1 purple, and a base card, which is a fucking joke. And on the PSA 9s, 1 silver and 9 base cards is a fucking joke. And then these 3 prisms have all got the exact error in the exact same place, but they all came from different boxes. How the fuck does that work? And they're different colours. I don't get it. Devastated. You know what's really weird about Amateur? I've got so I've got 10 Gane base cards. I've got more coming on the way. and none of the Gane base cards have got the print bubble. None of them. None of my base cards. Only my coloured prisms. Oh, nice JB, mate. Nice JB, mate. How much you pay for it, JB? Yeah, I kind of did get a refund for the Mojo. I forgot about that. He refunded me, I think it was $200. Oh, we got starting lineups. Hopefully this is good for my bet on Czech Republic. Oh, they haven't done the whole... I like it when they do the formation. Maybe we could find it on Twitter, you know. Sky Sports probably going to have it, right? Sky Sports Premier League, probably. Even though it's not Premier League, if you think they cover the Euros. Nope. Sky Sports. Nope. Flash score will update in a minute, man. We'll take a look at it. What have they got going on here? So what's he done? Dropped Foden for Saka. And he's dropped Mount for Grealish. So what? It's just the same setup, right? But he's got Saka on the right instead of Foden. And he's got Grealish in the middle apart from Mount. So has he dropped Foden? Foden's not even in the squad. Why isn't Foden in the squad? Am I going blind, or Foden's name isn't here? He's dropped Foden. He's dropped Foden completely. I mean, or is he? He's not injured, is he? He's not made the England bench. Whatever, man. I don't fucking know what Southgate is up to. He's a prick. He is a prick. Alright. Hey, as long as it's Czech Republic plus 2 bet wins, I don't give a fuck. But surprised. Yo, Parlons, I'll do you a crazy deal if you want, dude. Parlons, I'll do you a crazy deal. If you get me pictures of that teal card, if you get me pictures of the teal Gane you've got, I would trade you my teal Gane, my red Gane, and a Mojo Gane for your teal. If your teal doesn't have the print bubble, it could be a good deal for you. But I have to see pictures. I like to, full disclosure, so you guys always know what my agenda is. I want to be upfront with you guys. I'm always looking to, like, kind of like, so how do I word this? I'm trying to, like, get the cream of the crop stuff. So, for example, I would rather have one PSA 10 Gane whatever. Like, I'd rather have one PSA 10 Gane prism than 10 raw, if that makes sense. So, like, my whole trading strategy is take all the stuff which isn't going to be, like, the cream of the absolute crop and, like, fucking put it all into, like, that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, like, it's easier for me to describe with Pokemon, I suppose. I would rather have, like, one base set first edition Shadowless Pikachu than 100 Pikachus from other sets. Like I want the top shit. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So if anything of mine won't grade a PSA 10, I don't want it. Basically, and it goes back to the box breaks, right? So the packs just went on sale for the next box break, which is UFC Tops Round 2. Personally, I think like the best shit to invest in for these UFC cards is UFC Tops Round 1, UFC Tops Round 2. I think those are the best two things to invest in. So I'm kind of trying to accumulate as much of this stuff as I can, and then anything else is kind of like noise, if that makes sense. Just little strategies. So yeah, if you did want, if your teal is in good condition, mate, I'd be happy to trade you those 3 Ganes for your 1 teal. Just because I know that they won't grade with a print bubble on the front. But if you're interested in, you know, trading, buying, selling raw cards, that might be for you. Might be more money in that for you. I just want that PSA 10 cream of the crop. Yeah, quality over quantity, basically, Matern. Defo, mate. Quality over quantity. That you said it. Like, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of the best way to word it. But yeah, quality over quantity, man. So, for example, like, I will, you know, I'll like try and trade up basically on everything I do. I try and think of examples. I can't really think. But yeah, I just try and trade up. So like I've got a bunch of cards here, lots of different cards. Do you know what I mean? If I can trade all these for like 1 PSA 10 of a desirable card, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, that's my strategy anyway. Do you know what's funny, boys? I've noticed that we have to take a break every time we watch this Gane Rozenstruik fight. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've studied this Gane versus Rozenstruik fight now for other matchups, and every time we research this fight, because of how boring it is, we end up getting sidetracked and talking about something else every single fucking time, which I find funny. But it is painfully boring, this matchup. Bop and Coach is saying Southgate is lost. He's giving Saka, Mount and Grealish time over Sancho. Yeah. He's just a boring guy, dude. You know what I mean? He's one of these managers that won't... I don't know. I just think he won't give... I think he's got his favourites, and he doesn't like to take risks. You know? You know, if you look at the formation lineups out yet, yeah, here we go. Like, I understand like why he doesn't play Bellingham. I do get it because in Southgate's mind, you know, he wants to give his attacking line, you know, these for the freedom to go forward and not have to worry about what's behind them. And obviously, Phillips and Rice just kind of sit behind the attack and just mop up behind them. And obviously, if you put Bellingham in there instead of Rice or Phillips, he's more box to box. He's likely to go forward and get involved with these boys and mix it up a little bit. And Southgate, because he's a defender, he's got that defensive mindset. He doesn't want to get caught. But fuck me, England are flat going forward. They are fucking flat. And I think a lot of it is because Rice and Phillips aren't that creative. You know, when England go up against these teams that park the bus, pack their midfield and defence behind the ball, really you're relying on 4 players to break them down, right? You're relying on, you know, whoever you've got in attacking midfield, Kane and the 2 wingers, which means if their opposition packs the defence and midfield, they're outnumbered. You know, you can't really rely on you can't really rely on Rice and Phillips to come forward and create anything. Obviously, I know Shaw and Walker like to get forward, but again, you don't really want to be relying on your wing backs, do you? So I just think the lack of creativity in the midfield is what is making England extra flat. And I can't hate on Phillips. He's been phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Phillips and Rice are doing a great job. Like, they're doing a really, really good job. They're doing the job that's asked of them. But I think they are also the reason why England looks so flat going forward, just because they're outnumbered a lot of the time. They struggle to create, you know? They struggle, man. But let's get back to this fight. Let's go, boys. Let's get back to it. Let's go. Now, I'll quickly skim through the YouTube comments as well. Philip Frank is saying there's a parlay on PFL. He likes Kapalotza and Golstov at near even odds, and might bet against Pettis again. Yeah, Pettis didn't look great against Clay Collard, right? Jacob Juarez is saying, does Volkov have a reach advantage on Gane? No, he doesn't. I think Gane's got a 2-inch reach advantage on him. Gane's got an 83-inch reach. Volkov's got an 81-inch reach. Although what I would say is the stats on Tapology are often wrong. They're wrong quite often. Ryan Bottinelli is saying, better to wait for double chance Scotland at half time. It's 1.6 at the moment. Yeah, it could be. I just think Scotland will make a game of it today, man. I'm really, really unimpressed by Croatia. They're very flat. Firmbird is saying, do you think the UFC is moving Gane too quick? They could be, dude. It'll be interesting to see how Gane reacts if Volkov can drag him into a war. You know? Jacob Juarez has got Jiri Prochazka autograph and a green Moreno and Kamaru Usman. That's awesome, man. That if it's the neon greens, I think they're the best colours to get Kamaru Usman and Moreno in, because obviously you've got the green of Nigeria, the green of Mexico on the card. I think they're the best colours for those two fighters, man. That's very nice, mate. JR Eclipse, what's a print bubble? It's gone now. I might actually have the picture of my exact card on my desktop. I know I took a picture of it to show you guys. Yeah, here it is. So this is my mojo of Gane. And at first, I thought that whoever sold it to me had bent it. And because of that, I was pretty pissed, and I got some money back off him, which I feel bad about now. But it actually turns out it's a print bubble, because I've since received a teal Gane and a red Gane from different sellers, and they've both got the exact same defect, which means it's got to be a printing error. So basically, it barely shows up. Like, if you just held the card, you wouldn't be able to see it. Like, you can only see it if the light hits the card from a certain angle. But basically, it's just like it's kind of like a tiny little bump on the surface of the card. Very annoying, but it makes it virtually ungradable, which is annoying. So it just seems like a bit of an issue with the Gane cards. A lot of them seem to have it, which is annoying. KCOH is saying, stay away from PFL. It's the worst MMA company in the world. They've been 5 robberies and only 3 different cards this year. It's a disgrace. Alright, boys. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's get into the next one. Sync it up. Get it going in 5. Oh, we're on, just so you guys can catch up, we're on round 3 of Rozenstruik versus Gane. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Go, 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 go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go. So one thing that I haven't been impressed about with Gane here is he just doesn't inflict damage. He kind of just touches Rozenstruik. Touches him with a jab, kind of chips away with his kicks, but he's not scoring any points here. Although, beautiful setup on that head kick. Look how fast he threw that up. He gives Rozenstruik a little smile as well. So lots of feints, lots of movement from Gane. Not too much end product though. But I do lean towards him because of how slow and clunky Volkov has looked. And I'm surprised that Volkov didn't do a better job of landing in kickboxing range against Overeem and Harris. I don't think Gane's going to panic as much when Volkov's coming forward because of how well he moves. I think the difference is we know Overeem and Harris kind of slow down as the fight goes on, and as they slowed, it became easier for Volkov to get to them. But Gane's gas tank seems amazing. You know, even in his third round, he's still light on his feet. I'm not sure he's going to have as much difficulty moving away from Volkov if Volkov does try to pressure him. What I will say though is, obviously we were talking about Gane, you know, potentially having a path to victory over Volkov here with his grappling. But what I would say is, all of Gane's takedown entries in this fight have come above Rozenstruik's hips, like really, really far above his hips. Like, Rozenstruik hasn't been in any danger of being taken down. And to be fair, I thought initially it was because Gane wasn't fully committing to them, but he is shooting in, you know, quite quickly with a decent amount of drive on the takedowns. I do think Gane is trying to get this fight to the ground when he does shoot, but he's just not getting in deep enough on the legs of Rozenstruik to upset his balance. It's not, at first though, Palons, I thought that was bad, but when I thought about it more, it's not as bad, because the 3 remaining sets to come up this year are going to be really limited in supply. So Prism was pretty limited. Like, I spent thousands trying to accumulate rookie cards, and even then I didn't manage to accumulate loads. And the supply on Select, Contenders and Immaculate is going to be even lower. So I probably got between 30 and 50 of I probably got between 30 and 50 of the rookie cards that I wanted for the fighters I was targeting. Apart from Gane, which I'm probably going to end up with about 20 of, I think, something like that, maybe 20, 25. But, you know, if you think about it, if I spent thousands trying to get, you know, 30, 40, 50 cards of the rookies I wanted, you know, there's 12 cards in a Prism pack, or there's 12 cards in a Prism hobby pack. There's only 5 Select cards in a Select hobby pack. It's going to cost way more. Like, supply is going to be so much lower on Select, so I'm not too bothered about it, dude. Plus, it'll be different designs. I'm just glad I'll get a few more rolls of the dice to actually accumulate some of the rookies that I want. Beep Beep in my Jeep thinks it's more likely to be a kickboxing match. Stock market's doing well today, boys. I bought Plug Power yesterday. It's up fucking 11-12% today. This is mad. I literally bought Plug yesterday, and I've just checked my portfolio and it's up like 12%. How is that even possible? The chart was looking good. It wasn't looking that fucking good. Shit. Joe! Plug is up. Whew. My wife bought Plug yesterday as well. What? Plug's up 12%, bro, today. Have you checked your portfolio? No, mate, boys, the charts don't lie, boys. The charts don't fucking lie. That is a big gain. Literally up 12% in a day. I bought it yesterday, boys, and they say technical analysis doesn't work. You fucking crazy. Look at this. I literally bought it here yesterday. And like the fight, probably maybe this candle. You happy with that, bro? There you go. There you go. Happy with that, boys. 12% in a day. Stock market is looking spicy, boys. If you got any money lying around, stock market's looking decent. Well, not all stocks. Some stocks are looking decent. A lot of stocks are looking decent, to be fair. But plug, 12% in a day. We bought it yesterday, boys. It doesn't get much better than that. Anyway, sync it up. It starts. Round 4 starts in 21 minutes. 21 minutes. Let's get it going. 21 minutes, boys. 21 minutes. Let's go, boys. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Now, we are going to have to watch quite a bit more footage on Gane, because there is one tiny little thing that's bothering me about his performance here against Rozenstruik, and I feel like we saw this when we were researching this fight against Rozenstruik, and it was the reason why we didn't bet on Gane. What you notice is Gane looks really, really comfortable in this kickboxing range. Like, very confident, very comfortable. He's not in any danger, but for the most part, that's because Rozenstruik's not attacking him. What I do notice about Gane is when Rozenstruik is blitzing forward, you are kind of seeing Gane close his eyes a little bit, flail his arms around, and he doesn't react very confidently when Rozenstruik comes forward. And I'm sure when we researched Gane's previous fights, when we were thinking about betting this matchup, I'm sure that we said that Gane's boxing defense looked a little bit suspect. Now, that's not a deal breaker for me in a context of what Gane may be capable of in this fight, because I don't think Volkov is a particularly good boxer anyway. We saw it in the Harris and the Overeem fight. You know, it was only when he really trapped those guys in an uncomfortable range that he had any success standing. But it does mean, you know, do I want to bet a heavyweight, you know, in this odds range that maybe, you know, we can't feel totally confident in, you know, in their boxing defense, because Volkov is a big guy. You know, he hits very hard. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it'd be, you know, tricky, right? Tricky. So we've only got to be subjected to 7.5 more minutes of this, and then we can move on to another fight. But I would like to watch some more on Gane, quite a bit more. Against someone that's actually going to try and attack him, I feel like Rozenstruik was put into a defensive shell way too early. What I really, really don't like about Gane is that he hasn't done any damage here at all. He's just chipped away tiny little shots that just aren't damaging in any way. Little jabs to the body, you know, little range-finding kicks to the legs, but he hasn't sat down on anything. I think that head kick is the only shot in 20 minutes we've seen him sit down on, which is a concern, because we know Volkov does do damage when he comes forward. You know, when he goes with those body with like those teep kicks, you can see they hurt his opponent. You know, when he sits down on his punches, he's trying to hurt you. You know what, beep beep in my Jeep, I only bet parlays when I feel really, really confident in the two fighters that are in those parlays. Like if you do a 2-leg parlay, I've got to feel really, really confident in those two fighters. The point I'm trying to make is I just don't feel like that level of confidence in Gane here. Like he looks great, but we haven't really seen him face any resistance, and of course a lot of him not facing any resistance is the way that he's fighting, which is making it difficult for Rozenstruik to attack him. But we know Volkov is not going to respect Gane in the same way. Volkov doesn't respect anyone in the same way, right? Volkov's very aggressive. So yeah, like I give the big speech all week, man. I just think this is a real tough card for betting, and we're just gonna have to sit on our hands for a couple of weeks. Last week was dead for betting. This week's dead for betting, and we're just gonna have to ride out the storm, man, and wait for better opportunities to pop up. It's a tough card. Another tough card. 2 tough cards in a row. It's like buses, right? You wait ages for a bus, and then 2 of them come along at the same time. Of course, you don't want 2 bad events at the same time, but this is what looks like is happening. And what I really, 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 really don't want to do is force bets and give back the profits we accumulated at the beginning of this month. So we need to see something special to lock in bets here. What are the odds looking like on the over-under on this matchup? Not that I have any lean, to be honest, but maybe the odds make it obvious to go one way or the other. Yeah. I don't know. I could easily see both these guys. I could easily see Gane just chipping away at Volkov for 5 rounds, but then I could also see Gane not being as good as we thought he was when he actually gets hurt by someone nasty and aggressive and kind of, you know, folding. So no, I don't really like the over-unders on that either. So sync up round 5 for me, boys, and then we'll go watch hopefully a little bit more of an entertaining fight. This one has been dead. At least this shows us that Gane's gas tank is decent. He can perform at a decent level for 5 rounds. Obviously, he hasn't been forced to work that hard, but he is still a big guy. He's 6'3". He's been able to, or 6'4", been able to bounce around, stay light on his feet for 20-25 minutes now, which is impressive. So sync up round 5 for me, boys. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, BJ, if you want to find that page, mate, all you need to do is go to, if you come to the website, MMABettingTips.com, don't go to community, and then go to Team MMA BT, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find all sectors at the bottom, like a lot of sectors down the bottom with some interesting stocks to look at. I'll drop that link in the chat for you, dude. There you go, mate. Obviously, like, I'm not like endorsing any of this or anything. Like, obviously, do your own research and all that stuff. But there's a list of like interesting companies in these sectors, which, you know, could be pretty big in the future. My basic strategy for those businesses, I have them all in. I can actually show you on TradingView. I have all the different sectors that I think are likely to experience a lot of growth. And then what I'll do every day or every couple days, I'll just go into a sector like genomics, for example. These are all genomic stocks. And I'll just kind of check the charts on all these genomic stocks very quick. I'll just go through the daily. Wow, that looks really good. Well, there's a good buy straight away. I need to make a note of that. PACB. Haven't even checked today. There. So PACB looks like a great buy. So I would just make a list, and then however much money I've got to invest, I would just buy wherever ones look the strongest. PSNL looks really good as well. I don't need to not get sucked in, but I need to not get sucked in. I'm gonna turn it off now, as I'm gonna start finding loads of buys. But basically, that's all I do. I just go through each sector. And I just move my money around like every week or 2 weeks. Just move money into whatever stocks from whatever sectors are looking like they're going to do very well. And that's how you just avoid having your money tied up in stuff that is going sideways or down. You just fish for stuff in uptrends. But for anyone with money to spend, PACB looks particularly good. PACB looks particularly good if anyone's looking for any buys now. Obviously not investment advice, not a financial advisor, all that shit, but do your own research. And yeah, PACB is looking tasty. Very tasty. To the point where I might need to deposit some more money because it's all tied up. Yeah, stocks are looking great, man. Stocks are looking absolutely great at the moment. Not all stocks. A lot of stocks are looking great though right now. So if you've got any spare money, do maybe a little bit of research into some stocks. A lot of stocks are looking hot right now. I think money's flowing out of crypto into stocks because some of these stocks charts look spicy. Do it, Matern. Do it, dude. Do it, mate. Do it, dude. In all seriousness though, boys, like I see a lot of people online on Twitter and stuff talking about crypto, buying the dip and shit. Honestly, boys, like it's like that old like business quote, right? Old business investment quote. When everyone is looking left, you should look right. Nobody online is talking about stocks now. Literally no one online. Like you go on Twitter, no one's talking about stocks. Nobody. Stocks are not in stocks are not in people's eye line. There's no attention on stocks, but the chart's slowly turning extremely bullish. You look at a lot, like I've been buying stocks up like crazy the last month or so. If you look at stocks, everything is slowly starting to flip bullish in quite a big way on a lot of charts. So while everyone is like, oh, buy the dip on crypto, or crypto's a scam, it's going up in flames, like crypto's doom, blah, blah, blah. All eyes on crypto. When everyone's looking right, you look left. And right now, no, the light is not shining on stocks. I'm telling you, man, money is flowing into stocks like crazy. They are looking ready for the next big leg up. So if you do have any money lying around, don't listen to the donuts on Twitter that'll tell you to buy the dip on fucking Dogecoin and Ripple and Ethereum and all that nonsense. Check out some stock charts, man. I'm telling you, lot of stocks are looking crazy bullish right now. Just do some research into what uptrends are, and you'll be able to pick some out quite easily, and hopefully make a little bit of cash this summer, because I think stocks are gearing up for another huge leg up. Alright, okay, so let's get into another fight now. Let's watch JDS, but again, not all sectors. Don't just go blindly buying any stocks. Some sectors are not looking good, but some sectors are looking really good right now. Alright, let's get into the next fight, boys. Let's check out Gane versus JDS. There's nothing to really talk about with that fight. It's pretty dead. So let's get into JDS and Gane. And then hopefully we'll be able to learn a little bit more about Gane. Although I know JDS is shot and he's not exactly that aggressive these days. But yeah, I do like Neo, dude. I do like Neo, mate. I own Neo myself. My wife has got Neo as well. We got some Neo, man. I do like Neo a lot, dude. I like Neo very much, mate. I think we're going to find out pretty soon, Steve. I don't think that Rozenstruik fight taught us too much about Gane. So I think hopefully by the time we watch a couple more around Gane, we'll have an answer for you, dude. Alright, boys. Let's get going. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Alright, let's get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I think if Neo can get the infrastructure sorted behind their battery swapping technology, I think Neo will be huge, man, just because I think that Neo have got a really creative solution to like long distance travel, and obviously the issue of how long it can take to charge electric vehicles. Like, that battery swapping technology is so smart, but obviously the issue with that technology, even though it's great, Neo's gonna have to get the infrastructure right, the global infrastructure to put those battery swapping stations, all over the world. Because at the moment, a big problem with long distance travel, at least in the UK, is it's not always easy to find somewhere to charge your car up, and even when you do, it can take ages. That battery swapping technology would fix that problem, but obviously it's going to take, well, so Neo put that video out recently, right, where it showed them building a battery swapping station in, I think it was overnight, right, in 6 or 7 hours, I think they built it. But then, it's easy to focus all your energy on one battery swapping station and like build it in 6, 7 hours in a vacuum. But then how do you like scale that up and build hundreds or thousands of them in every country? If you think about it, you'd probably want hundreds of them just in a big city like London alone, right? How many would you want in California? Probably like thousands, right? How do they do that? How do you scale those battery swapping stations up? But if they can, Neo off to the races, because they would solve a big problem, in adoption in electric vehicles. If you guys haven't checked out the Neo battery swapping video, check it out. I won't actually play it on YouTube because the stream might get taken down. But they released a video like last week where they built one of these stations in literally like 6 or 7 hours. Can't find the video. Google it, man. Google it and you'll find it. We're seeing a little bit more pressure from JDS here, so interesting to see that Gane's choosing to use kicks to back JDS up, whereas Rozenstruik was kind of standing back and letting Gane lead the dance. We're seeing Gane do something that I really hate. He's trying to counter forward pressure from Dos Santos with kicks, which I absolutely hate. I don't think Gane's that confident in his boxing. I do very much think he's a kicker. If you guys watch my content a lot, you'll know I'm not a lover of that. I don't like guys that try to counter boxers with kicks, because you need time and space to get kicks off. And obviously it's a lot easier to punch someone in the face than it is kick him in the head. So that's the first thing I'm noticing about Gane here. He's got a very kicks-based style of striking. Watch, when JDS comes forward, his instinct is to back him up with kicks, but there's nothing on the kicks. It's not like a Jose Aldo or Edson Barboza kick where they're slowing you down a lot and inflicting big damage on your lead leg. Gane's more just kind of touching you. Like Appleman made the point about how much damage Volkov can do with that teep kick to the body. We're seeing Gane throw teeps to the body here to maintain his distance, but they're not really doing much damage, what I'm going to do after this stream, boys, usually if one stock in one sector looks crazy bullish, usually most stocks in that sector will go up. So I think we're going to have a little bit of time at the end of this stream, because there's like 40 minutes to go before the football starts. So we'll whiz through all the genomics daily charts and see if there's any more, as well as PACB that look good. So we can go shopping then. Can you guys see what I mean about Gane's boxing? He doesn't instill any confidence here, right? As JDS is coming forward, all of a sudden Gane's footwork flips from being composed and calm to he panics a little bit when JDS is coming forward and attacking him. So sync up this second round for me, which starts at 8 minutes and 43 seconds. 8 minutes 43. 8 minutes 43. Sync it up, guys. And let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So I can definitely see watching this why I didn't want to bet on Gane against Rozenstruik. He does panic a little bit when guys start to come forward and let their hands go. He doesn't look confident, and he tries to back them up with kicks. He doesn't seem to have the boxing to get respect in there. From what I'm seeing, Ngannou would cause this guy big trouble. Really, really big trouble. And this is from a guy that's invested a lot in Gane, Gane rookie cards. At the moment, like, one of the reasons why I've invested in Gane rookie cards is because of his age. For 31 years old, he's super, super, super young for a heavyweight. He's still got 4 or 5 years of improving in him before he's, even mid-30s, where he could start to hit his prime as a heavyweight. But right now, I think Ngannou would cause this guy big trouble, because Ngannou's not going to respect kicks when you come forward. Ngannou covers so much distance and sits down so hard on his power punches, and Gane's not going to be able to stop Ngannou from coming forward with these kicks. Like, Ngannou's just going to come right through it and punch a hole in your head. So I'm really not actually liking what I'm seeing from Gane here. Is quite disappointing. And now I remember why we didn't bet him against Rozenstruik, and it was because every time JDS came forward, Gane panicked a little bit and didn't look comfortable. So I would actually say this is dog or pass. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but so far I do think if you want to bet this fight, it has to be Volkov. Like, for me, I haven't been that impressed with Volkov either. And of course, his ground game is always a big concern. I don't know if it's worth us really, watching footage on that, because I mean, we should all kind of know Volkov's very weak off his back. But yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here from Gane. I do think this is a dog or pass fight. And you notice here, Gane's gas tank looked very, very good against Rozenstruik, but it was because he was in total control. Do you notice in this second round, Gane is taking some deep breaths and he's not as light on his feet? And that's because JDS has actually pushed him, and forced him to exert more energy and work a little bit. But yeah, very disappointed by Gane's boxing here. Pretty disappointing. Let me know what you guys think so far. Probably not going to be spending too much longer on this one, actually. I don't think there is a bet here for us. You know what we could do? Boys? Is it worth watching the Bosa fight? Such a long time ago. I don't think it is. It was a very long time ago, wasn't it? You know what? I think I'm happy to pass here. I think I'm happy to just give this one a miss, boys. I do think this is dog or pass. The issue I've got here is, if we take a look at the odds, right? This is the problem I'm having with this fight. So Volkov is not particularly effective at landing unless his opponent stands right in front of him. But when he does land, he actually does damage. He digs in with hard kicks, heavy punches. I haven't really seen Gane damage anyone. Like, up until he rocked JDS there, JDS didn't have a scratch on his face. And Rozenstruik looked like he'd taken the dog for a walk after 25 minutes in there with Gane. Like, Gane literally did no damage at all. We've never really seen Gane put in any trouble. And when Gane has been pressured by JDS there, he was looking very uncomfortable. Gane's also got a kick-based style of striking, and the best counter to a kick is a punch in the face. It's a lot easier to punch someone in the face than it is to kick him in the head. So Volkov, that dynamic does also favour Volkov. The problem I've got is we don't know a lot about Gane. Like, I definitely would not be betting Gane as a big favourite here. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Even another red flag, he was breathing quite heavy there in round 2 and was a lot flatter on his feet than he was against Rozenstruik because JDS was taking the fight to him more. But then I don't love betting on Volkov because we don't know a lot about Gane. For all we know, Gane might be too fast and he might move too well and he might light Volkov up. You know, he might look to catch Volkov's kicks and turn him into takedowns. He might come in with a grappling heavy game plan. Take Volkov down, control him easily from top position. So I do think this is dog or pass, but I don't really feel like betting either of these guys. I think this is one of those fights where we've really just got to look at how it goes and use this as like an opportunity to forage for new information and learn more about Gane. But for now, this is not a bet for me. So anyway, boys, with that, I'm going to go now. Hope you all enjoy the football later on. Hope you all enjoy England. I'm not going to be betting this fight myself. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Nick just saying the Volkov's boxing isn't impressive either. I agree with you, dude, which is why I don't really want to bet this fight, man. I'm going to take a pass on this one. I might come back and do another fight later on. If not, boys, I'll see you tomorrow. Full disclosure, though, I am leaving most of my research for the end of the week because we got the Euros tonight. We had the Euros yesterday. Obviously, 4 games yesterday, 2 games today. We've got 4 games tomorrow, but then we don't have any games on Thursday and we don't have any games on Friday. So I'm probably going to leave most of my research to Thursday and Friday this week so I can enjoy the Euros, bet the Euros, hopefully make some money on the Euros. I've done pretty good on the Euros so far. Yesterday was a massive day for me. And then obviously we can do the bulk of our research on Thursday and Friday when there's no football to bet on. So anyway, do think it's dog or pass. Thanks a lot everyone for watching. Take care. I'll be back with some more research soon. If you like this session, you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Links in the description below. I live stream my research for most fights on there. But anyway, boys, thanks a lot.